Rajiv Mehta, a name like many others. He joined Srishti Life Insurance. No trumpet sounded, just a quiet man. He carried an old leather briefcase. It held more than papers. It held a gentle heart. The office buzzed with targets, with numbers. Rajiv looked for something else. He searched for the human story. He wanted to understand people. Srishti Life Insurance, a world of policies, a world of premiums neatly filed, payouts discussed in hushed tones. For many, it was a job, a way to earn a living. Numbers were king. Papers moved from desk to desk. Calls were made. Targets loomed large. But Rajiv saw faces, not files. He saw futures held tenderly. He saw dreams needing protection. His desk was simple, uncluttered. He didn't like piles of paper. He preferred conversations, real talks with real people. He believed insurance was not just about money. It was about a feeling. The feeling of security, the feeling of peace, knowing your loved ones were safe. This was his quiet truth. A small candle in a busy, bustling office. He wasn't the loudest. He didn't shout his successes. He listened, with his ears, with his heart. He learned from every interaction. He observed the small things, the nervous tap of a young father's fingers, the unspoken worry in an older woman's eyes. These were the important details for Rajiv, the true beginning of his journey. He knew these details mattered most. The early days were a test. Rajiv stumbled. The insurance words were complex. The sales techniques felt wrong somehow. His seniors pushed him. Be aggressive, Rajiv, they advised. Sell more. It's a numbers game after all. But Rajiv felt a disconnect. He felt the human element was missing. He knew there had to be another way, a way that felt true to him. So he learned. Not just from manuals, he learned from people. He spent time with his clients, hours sometimes. He didn't just present policies. He listened to their stories, their joys, their hopes, their deepest fears. This was his true education. Life itself was his teacher, unfolding in ordinary homes, over shared cups of simple chai. He remembered Mrs. Alva, a recent widow. She was lost in the maze of her late husband's policy. The papers seemed cold and confusing. Rajiv didn't just explain the clauses. He sat with her. For a long time, he shared stories of his own losses. He made her feel heard, not like a case number. He helped her see the policy as her husband's final hug, a last act of enduring love. Then there was the young couple, so full of nerves. Their first baby was on the way. Life felt big and uncertain. Insurance felt like a heavy cloud, an unwelcome expense. Rajiv didn't speak of risk or of doom. He spoke of dreams. He talked with them, of watching their child take first steps, of a future filled with laughter and security. He offered them peace of mind, wrapped carefully in a policy. He sold hope. His way was different. It was softer. It took more time, more patience. Some managers raised eyebrows. They looked at charts. Rajiv, your numbers need to improve, they'd say. They wanted speed. They wanted quick sales. Rajiv's gentle approach wasn't the Srishti way, or so it seemed at first. He built trust, layer by layer, not just quick signatures on a dotted line. He built relationships that lasted. He didn't use flashy charts or complicated jargon that confused. He told simple stories, stories that resonated, stories that people understood in their hearts. He made the complex feel easy, approachable. Clients began to love him for this. They trusted his quiet sincerity, his gentle guidance. They sent their friends to him, their family. His numbers started to climb, steadily, organically, born from real connections. People noticed. Some colleagues still whispered. They watched him. They called him Rajiv the dreamer, or the storyteller, sometimes with a smile, sometimes not. They thought he was too soft for this business, too emotional perhaps, too easily moved. They believed you needed a harder edge to succeed. But Rajiv understood a deeper truth. Insurance was about life's most tender moments. It was about promises. It was about love, not just cold calculations and profit margins. Quietly, a few younger agents started watching him. They saw the warmth in his client interactions. They heard the real gratitude in people's voices, the thank yous that came from the heart, not just politeness. They saw the calm he brought to anxious families. They began to ask him questions, seeking his wisdom. Rajiv, what's your secret? They'd ask in hushed tones. He would just smile his kind smile. "Come, let's talk," he'd say. "Let's share some tea." He was planting seeds of a new way. Management started to see. The results spoke. The Rajiv way was working. It was undeniable. It created loyal customers, people who stayed with Srishti, not because of pressure, but because of trust. Complaints went down, fewer misunderstandings. The company's reputation grew warmer, more human, so they asked him to do something new, to train the fresh recruits joining the company, not just on products, but on empathy, on listening, on the power of a human story. This was a big step. He taught them to look beyond the policy document, beyond the commission check that followed a sale. He urged them to find the human heart in every interaction. "We are not just selling insurance," he would tell them. His kind eyes would scan the room, meeting theirs. "We are selling a promise to care, a promise to be there when life takes a turn." His training was different. It was memorable, full of stories, not just statistics and sales pitches. He shared his own journey, his own learnings. The workplace atmosphere began to change. Slowly, subtly, like the turning of a season, it became a little kinder, a little more understanding. Colleagues started sharing their own client stories. They supported each other more, listened more. The focus shifted from just hitting targets to truly serving people, to making a difference. Rajiv's influence spread like ripples in a pond. He showed them a different kind of success, one measured in relationships, not just revenue. His farewell wasn't loud, no grand speeches, but it was filled with genuine warmth, real emotion. Colleagues shared how Rajiv had changed their perspective, how he had inspired them to be better, kinder. Clients, old and new, sent heartfelt notes of thanks. He left behind more than a successful career. He left a legacy of compassion, a touch of grace. Rajiv Mehta showed Srishti Life Insurance that the greatest policy of all was the policy of hope. He proved business could indeed have a soul.